YouTube? It's Mortimer, and today I have a new Q&A video for you guys. I posted a picture on Instagram a while back and asked you guys to ask any questions, and I would try and answer them for you guys. So I have them all loaded up right here. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Rinishu asks, is there any gameplays that you've been planning on filming? If you guys don't know, I run a gaming channel called Kitty Cat Gaming as well. And I'm really interested in playing Pokken, the new Pokemon fighting game. So I really want to get my hands on that when it comes out. And I really just want to play any Metal Gear game. That's like my favorite series of all time. So those are always ones that I'm interested in playing. But I always just like playing whatever games I see that are just coming out on Steam or are just available from indie makers. So those are the kind of games that I look at. Ghost Text asked, how are you doing? I am doing great. I'm a little bit stressed right now because moving is hard. Like, I have a Birchbox to film for you guys, but I lost it somewhere in the move. I'm sure I'll find it when it's too late to film. But health-wise, you guys can see it's still like really swollen. My thyroid, if you don't know, has polyps on it. It has 3. The last time I had it checked, they said there's 3, but I feel like there's one up here now. Which isn't on the thyroid, which is kind of worrisome. So I'm gonna be going in for another biopsy and ultrasound of that soon to see what it is. A lot of people ask, why don't I just have them taken out with surgery? And that's because it's a very complicated surgery and very expensive, and it could be extremely damaging. It's kind of scary. And sometimes they go away on their own. 1 in 3 women ends up getting polyps on her thyroid, or in any other lymphnodic area of your body. So it's not uncommon. It just sucks that I have 3 of them. They're cystic, so they grow and shrink. They're non-cancerous. I've had biopsies done. I get biopsies done twice a year. And it's never cancerous. It's just kind of annoying and a nuisance, and it only hurts like right after flights or like whenever I've been through a lot of like pressure changes. But other than that, it's totally fine. It's just something that I can ignore. Cyber Celeste asks, when did you start modeling? I started modeling when I was about 13 or 14. I got into it because I was really into cosplay, and I started a stock photography site on deviantart.com, which has since been deleted. But it was a really popular stock photography site, not to like toot my own horn, but I was the biggest stock photographer on DeviantArt at that time. After doing that for a long time and making a lot of resources for other artists to use, I got into modeling. And once I moved to California, I modeled for several large companies that I'm sure you've heard of: Smashbox, Makeup Forever, Hot Topic. And I got out of it because it just wasn't for me anymore, and it was kind of boring. And I like eating, so that is a nice revelation. But you guys can look at all of I have like videos talking about like modeling for Hot Topic and other photo shoots. You guys can watch those old videos. But yeah, next question. Newt Grumps, which is a really cute name, asks, if you could watch only one TV show for an entire year, reruns and all, what would it be? And I would have to say It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I freaking adore that show. I love all of the cast. I love the jokes. I love like the show. I love everything about it. It's probably my favorite TV show. I am addicted to it. And I already rewatch like episodes when I don't have anything to watch. I don't know. I just hope one day I can, be part of a show that way. And I love Dee. She's such like a strong female comedian. I don't know. I just love all of the characters on the show. Charlie Day is my absolute fave. But yeah, that's my show. Definitely It's Always Sunny. MSS Jackson asks, how did you get into taxidermy? And I've always been a really big fan of taxidermy and what you would call creepy decor. I grew up watching The Addams Family and The Munsters, and I always adored houses that were Victorian and decorated and ornate. And I've always wanted that. I've always wanted taxidermy. I wanted like a nice taxidermy wall, but it's really, really expensive. And I remember looking at it and being like, I bet I could do it for less. And I started doing taxidermy, and I started making my bugs. and I had an art show at Frenchie's, and I raised enough money by selling my bugs to pay for taxidermy school, to learn how to taxidermy mammals and fish and birds. And after I got back from that, I opened my Etsy store and I started selling my taxidermy on there. I've sold a couple big mammals, but I don't have those listed on my Etsy because they're too hard to ship and they're usually very expensive. Usually people will be like, oh, I just killed this animal, can you skin it for me? And not that I wouldn't do it, but like it's just too much of a hassle for me at this point. Right now I don't have the time to dedicate to like getting another gigantic freezer to store bodies in and things like that. So for right now, whenever I work on a mammal, I get the skins from forums online from other taxidermists who like have an extra skin and no intention of using it. I'll buy it off of them. And yeah, like I just started getting the taxidermy because I wanted it myself. And I would recommend it to you too. E.g., Ego Factor, but with X's instead of O's, asks, how long have you and Aaron actually been together? We have actually been together for 14 years now. I know, that's like crazy, right? We started dating when I was like 13 and he was 16, and we've been together ever since. So yeah, it's almost 14 years this year. We've been married for 2. So that's exciting. Shawnsome, who I love, asked, what's one thing besides family that you miss most about Florida? I would definitely say Disney. I'm a big time Disney girl, grew up going to Disney, love Disney movies, used to want to work for Disney. I'm just like a huge Disney fanatic, so I definitely miss being able to go to Disney. Especially when I worked there, I could go anytime I wanted to because I had a free pass because I worked there. So I used to go all the time, and I miss it. I'm not gonna lie, totally miss it. Disneyland out here just does not compare to Disney World. Just doesn't hold a candle to it, just saying. Byron Lupton asks, what are your life goals? What do you want to achieve in life, or have you already achieved everything that you wanted to achieve? P.S. Love you. I have a bunch of goals that I still want to achieve. I really want to open a store one day and sell taxidermy and oddities. I think that would be really cool. I mean, I want to start a family someday, but not until I'm like 30, so don't ask when I'm having kids. I don't know, there's a lot of things that I want to do. I just don't want to talk about them on camera right now because like I'm working on them. But another thing I really want to do is I really want to make a clothing line someday. I've been planning that out for years though, so it's just kind of a matter of finding somebody to make the stuff that's reliable. So that is one thing that I would really like to see happen soon. RY Dude E Neptune asks, do you go to any conventions? I used to go to conventions all the time. I used to love conventions, but as Game Grumps grew in popularity, it just kind of stopped being fun because you kind of just walk 2 steps and then you meet people, which is fine, except it just gets to be a little bit too much for me. I have anxiety issues, so I can't handle it. It just like, it makes me withdraw in myself and I just get shy and closed off. And there's been some fans in the past that have kind of ruined it, for me at least, like, you know, like looking up what hotel room we are in and calling our room all the time, or stuffing notes under the door, or waiting in front of our door for us to come out. So things like that kind of deterred me from going to cons. I'm not saying I'm not ever gonna go to a con again. I would definitely love to go to cons that are out of the country, just so I can travel more. And I would like to go to more cons, but preferably ones that are closer to home so I don't have to like stay in a hotel and have people stalk me. Does that make sense? Small Senpai Dezu asks, any advice to people who plan on moving out for college? Be careful and be aware of your surroundings. People who are new in college are more susceptible to sexual assaults. So definitely be aware and don't go crazy, you know, and just, you know, be suspicious. Be careful at first until you get your legs and your bearings, because you're in a new place. It's scary. It's completely new. It can be intimidating. So just take it easy until you're comfortable, and then, you know, go crazy and have all the fun you want. because people are crazy and you never know if you're gonna run into one of the crazy people in the world. And don't forget the simple things when you're moving, because like it's very easy to overlook salt and pepper and like ketchup and mustard and small things like that, but grab it all from your parents' house if you can. Just Kini Ca asks, do you know how to play any instruments? Yes, I know how to play guitar, I know how to play the cymbals, and I know how to play the triangle. I am self-taught on how to play the guitar. I remember like I saved up to buy my first guitar. I got an acoustic guitar for $50 from a flea market. And my dad told me if I taught myself how to play House of the Rising Sun by the Beatles on it, that he would buy me an electric guitar. So I taught myself how to play it, and I got that electric guitar and I got an amp, and it was rad. I have not played the guitar in a long time, but yeah, I used to want to be in a band. Thank goodness I didn't do that, but I don't know. That was just like one of my childhood things I wanted to do. Lee Lai KMB asks, do you like meeting fans, or has there been some fans you wish you never met? Yeah, I absolutely love meeting fans. I love it whenever I like meet people on the street, or like if we're having like a meetup at like Frenchie's or like a bug show or something. I adore that. I absolutely love it. If you see me on the street, come say hi. I just don't like it when I meet fans who all of a sudden expect to follow me wherever I'm going. And like, this sounds like so shallow of me, but like for example, I meet a fan, we say hi, nice to meet you. I'm about to go back on my way again because I'm out doing stuff. I'm not out, just to meet people for fun. And then they're like, so can I come with you? Where are you going? And that just kind of crosses the line for me, especially if I'm on a date. Or like if I'm eating dinner with Aaron somewhere and a fan comes up and they're like, hey, and then they sit down at the table. Like, I feel like that's crossing the line. I don't know. I don't appreciate that. There are a couple of fans that have definitely crossed the line. We've had fans show up at our house before. And like I've approached them before and told them not to do that. Because I know who it was. They left a note. Obviously I wasn't home when they came home. But like there's been stuff like that. There have been fans, but I'm not gonna like call anybody out or do anything like that. But yes, it is possible to cross the line, and people have done it. Chapstick asks, you moved from Florida to LA, right? How'd you plan a move like that? I'm planning to make a big move to better my happiness and mental health, and I have no idea where to start planning. That's great. I'm so happy to hear you're working on your happiness and mental health, because there's nothing more important. Moving from Florida to LA was very hard. Excuse me. I could essentially only bring whatever I could fit in my car. And Aaron and I drove from Florida to California with all of my worldly belongings in the back of that car. And it took us, I think, 3 or 4 days to drive it. And I think that was the hardest part of it, because I already had a place set up for me by the time we got to California. So I didn't have to like worry about looking for anything like that. And when I first got to California, my job was modeling, so I already had kind of jobs lined up too. So I guess my advice for you is to definitely have a house and jobs lined up for you, and move to a place where you already know people. Even if it's just one person, just somebody that you can talk to, or if something happens you can get in contact with. Family members, friends, anybody. Just make sure you have those in place for you before you go. Electric Hugs asks, what is the symbolism between you and Aaron having blonde streaks in your hair? If you've never noticed, Aaron and I both have a blonde streak in our hair on the same side, and there is no symbolism behind it. Surprise! I just got it done, and Aaron thought it looked cool and wanted one too. I don't know what to tell you guys. That's all it was. No meaning behind it. Aaron also used to have me paint one of his fingernails red or black. And people will be like, oh, it means this and it means that. And it's actually a thing stolen from Penn and Teller. Penn Jillette would paint his ring fingernail red. And it's a distraction for when you're doing sleight of hand card tricks, because Aaron was really into learning magic for a while and doing card tricks and sleight of hand stuff. And that's all it was. Some people were like, oh, it's a sign of Satanism and this and that. And just did it because he liked it and because it was for magic stuff. So that's all. Luna Leaf A asks, do you plan on getting any more tattoos in the near future? Yes, I want to get my arm finished, and here it's still empty and in the shoulder. My appointment for that I think is in August, because Dylan Forte, the guy who does my tattoo, is very busy, and I missed my last appointment because I was just really busy at the time and had to cancel it, and he has like a huge waiting list, so I had to go back at the end of the list again. But that was my fault. And so I want to get that finished. I do want to get a traditional stick and poke tattoo someday when I go to New Zealand. My family's from New Zealand, so I would really, really love to get a tattoo in New Zealand, and I would like to get a traditional stick and poke tattoo. I would really like to get some kind of like mandalas here and more black work. I really like just solid black. I would like that. But I'm sure I'll work out a design with somebody somewhere down the line. Yeah, no, I really want a lot more tattoos. It's just a matter of finding stuff that I really like and I know I'll be happy with for a long time. Because I did really good with this design. I'm very happy with it. So it's just a matter of finding the right artist to work with. Matthew Cavaco asks, what's your biggest fear? I am terrified to death of deep sea creatures. I guess mainly because we don't know what's down there and what is at the bottom of the ocean, because it's so deep, we've never been there. So that kind of stuff really terrifies me. I'm also terrified of aliens. I don't even know if aliens exist, you know? But like just like the thought of it terrifies me. I don't know. So yes, I would definitely say deep sea creatures are my biggest fear. Brownie Breath asks, between managing the Grumps, being a part of the Grumps, KKG and Mortimer, editing KKG and Mortimer, and Taxidermy / running an Etsy, how do you find time to do anything else? Well, let's see. I don't edit KKG anymore. Kevin edits KKG now. I don't manage Grumps anymore. That is all the manager now. We have a manager named Brent Lilly. But I still do a lot of behind the scenes stuff for Grumps, and I still do episodes on Grumps. So that takes a big load off. But yeah, I am still a part of Grumps. I still do behind the scenes stuff for Grumps. I still film KKG. I still film for Mortimer. I edit for Mortimer. Nobody edits this channel but me. And Taxidermy and running an Etsy. I do things one day a week for projects. So for example, Mondays are KKG days and Grumpany meeting days. Tuesdays are Psychic Circle days, Wednesdays are Mortimer days, Thursdays are Game Grumps days, and Fridays are kind of like a pickup day for whatever day needs extra help. And then I have the weekend to myself. So that's usually how it plays out. Of course, things come in and mess up the week plan, but you gotta always be ready for that, because it's gonna happen. Shit happens, you know? But that's how I try and keep things organized. I like to have a planner. I have a physical planner that I actually like write down all of my stuff in, so I remember when everything is happening. And I don't just write my stuff in there, I write everybody's stuff in there. So I know like if they're filming an episode, who's in town or like who's available and, you know, stuff like that. So I like to keep track of all that stuff. I used to keep it on my phone, but there's something about actually manually writing out stuff that actually makes it stick in your mind better and helps you get stuff done. I don't know. That's just something that I've noticed about my own personality. Maybe you enjoy using your phone more, but that's just what works for me. Double Maximus asks, what's your idea of success, especially for artists, creators of that nature? I think the definition of success for artists and creators is being happy and satisfied with what you make. And then separately from that, another thing to be satisfied and happy with is if you can actually make a living doing what you love. I say those are both separate things because they are not mutually exclusive. Like you can make stuff and be happy with it and not sell it and just make it for you. And that's success, but it's also success if you can make a living off doing something that you love to do. And I think that is what more people should aspire to. It's not about who can make the most money or like who can charge the most for one of their like paintings and things like that. Because everything's art. I mean, honestly, even the way you dress yourself to the way you style your hair is your own unique style of art. But it just depends on if you do it and you enjoy doing it and how you look at it. So that is the key to success with art. Dun dun dun. Chloe Septic Price asks, I must know, how do you get to be so talented? I don't know if I would say I'm super talented, but maybe that's just being humble. I don't know. I wear many hats. I'm a jack of all trades, but I am a master of a few of them. That's kind of cocky to say, but I mean, I'm proud of myself. The key to having so many talents is time and practice. You're not gonna learn anything by just sitting on the couch and watching TV, or just like surfing the web. Like, you actually have to put time and effort into learning and practicing things. You're not gonna learn guitar by playing Guitar Hero. You're not gonna become a writer by reading a book. You need to actually put the time into it and practice it and do it. And I hope that's not news to anybody, but like for taxidermy, I went to taxidermy school for it. For painting, I went to college, and I dropped out of college, but I went to college majoring in art. Makeup, I do makeup and practice it all the time, even just for fun. If I'm just gonna wash my face right afterwards, I just do it. And I'm constantly learning new techniques online and learning new tools. So you never stop learning. You're never perfect at something. It's a continuous thing. So yeah, just start. I think they say it takes, 800 hours to become a pro at something? So I think that's the quote. I don't know, it's something like that. Aaron's all the time quoting it. And it takes 28 days to start a new habit. So get started on that now. Sire11 asks, what happened to Meeperfish? Meeperfish was my other channel, my very first YouTube channel, and it was an animation channel. And if you've never seen it before, I have it on the sidebar of my channel in the featured channels. YouTube changed its algorithm, and you can't make money making animated videos anymore. It's just not feasible anymore, and that hurt a lot of animators. Like Rubber Ross made a video about it, talking about it. And even Aaron, like other animators, like it's just not possible to do it and have it be worth it, if that makes any sense, because you put so many hours into animating something, that like the amount of money that you would make by putting it on YouTube just doesn't make sense. You just couldn't afford it, to live on that for how much time it takes to make another one. And it does take a lot of time, and my cartoons weren't, expansive or fancy or, anything to write home about, I think. They were just something I did for fun, but they took a lot of my time up, and at this point in my life, like, I kind of need to prioritize on where I put my time at, and unfortunately, those videos just had to be cut, because it's too much time and not enough reward for the work that I put into it, if that makes any sense. But those videos are still online. I'm not saying I'm never gonna go back to animating again. I'm not gonna say I'm never gonna make another Adventures in Retail cartoon or anything like that. But for right now, like, I have no plans to in the foreseeable future. So I'm sorry, and thank you if you followed me on Meeperfish. So yeah, there are over 800 questions on here. Sorry if I couldn't get to yours. A lot of people asked kind of the same questions. So maybe your question was answered, but under somebody else's name. I might do another Q&A video soon, because people seem to really enjoy them and ask me questions all the time. So if you like this video, let me know down below, and maybe I'll do another one. And please don't forget that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. And I will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody!